Kellyanne Conway, thank you for joining us on Primetime.
Good evening, Christopher.
All right, let's deal with what should be easy. This Breitbart interview and the president, the comments that he made about who supports him and what could happen. Even if egged on, even if in the context of the left is very tough on you, the left does a lot of violent things, even if that was the context for the reply, are you open to saying he should not have said what he said?
You're just reading into it like you usually do. You have to read the entire interview. He was talking about how peaceful and gentle many people are who are otherwise tough. He's got the military, the veterans, the bikers, etc. And then he was commending the Democrats for always sticking together. And isn't he right about that? They agree on infanticide. They agree on socialism. Somehow they disagree on anti-Semitism, which is odd. But then he is going on to say how they go and investigate. They don't like the result of 2016. They go and investigate it. They don't like something else, they go and investigate it. And what if the Republicans turned around and did that? What if some of his supporters turned around and do that?
That is not even
excuse me, it's Maxine Waters. Oh no, let's review the facts here. Excuse me, let's review the facts here. It's Maxine Waters, who's now chairman of an important committee in the House.
You
let me finish. Who crazily told people go get up in their faces if you see somebody in the Trump cabinet, you see an official, tell them they're not welcome here.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, he should pick his words more carefully. You're really going to defend it?
No, you know what? Here's what you should pick. Here's what you should pick. You should pick better things to cover respectfully. It's your show, but you invite me on. I work on policy at the White House.
I want to talk to you about the emergency declaration. I thought this would be easy. I thought this would be easy for you.
Yeah.
To say, look, the president shouldn't have said that the military and bikers and cops may get violent in his defense. Yeah,
he didn't say that.
He said exactly that.
Where did he say that?
He said exactly that. I'll put the quote up.
Where did he say that?
Right here. I have the support of the police.
I can't see the quote. You know that. I'm looking into a blank screen.
I'll read it. I can tell you I have the support of the police.
AC just did like 20 minutes on it, but go ahead.
Well, because it matters, Kellyanne. You can't have a president that threatens if things don't go the way he likes, people could get hurt. Okay? I know he likes to say it about the media. You know what? It changes people's lives.
It's Maxine Waters who did that. It's Maxine Waters who actually did that. Joe Biden said, I'd like to take him behind the building and punch him.
And she got called out for what she said.
Really? Because Joe Biden was the vice president. Called out? Guess what? Some crazy lunatic lady did exactly what Maxine Waters said to do, did to me in a restaurant in Maryland. And you know what? It is crazy that you would defend that you would just
I'm not defending anything. I'm asking you about this, but you know what?
Actual quotes from Maxine Waters, and you have an actual quote from Joe Biden, the vice president of the United States, who said of Donald Trump, he'd like to take him behind a building and punch him.
I give up.
That's violence.
And you know what? It was juvenile, it was stupid, and it was beneath the dignity of somebody who wants to be president. You'll never say anything like that. And you know what? And look at who, you won't even let anybody else run in the Republican Party, and you've got a president who has threatened more people in more ways than we've ever seen. Well, I had the RNC chair on last night, and she made a point that I should have listened to.
This economy is booming.
All right,
He's helped more people.
Hold on. We'll get to that when you want to defend the declaration.
This economy is booming. I know you don't like to cover the economy.
I cover it all the time. I cover it all the time. I'm not reading into words. He said something very common, but here's what I did. I made a mistake. I made a mistake, so I surrender. You will never call him out for whatever he says or whatever he does. You are choosing pragmatism over principle.
That's not true.
And I should know this because listen to what Ronna McDaniel told me last night. I should have learned this lesson already. Here, she gave me the answer last night. Here it is.
I go to church for my moral leadership. I look at politicians based on, are you in line with my issues? You can be the nicest, most moral person in the the I don't want you to be the president because I want to make sure that you're aligned with my policies.
The party of character counts. The party of Reagan, the party of Lincoln, no more. Forget about the moral leadership. That's not what we're about anymore.
That's ridiculous.
And that's because
I'm sorry, is there a question lurking in there?
There
or
it
are
is.
you pontificating?
No.
Because you invited me on here to answer questions.
Oh, no. Well, that would be a blessing.
I'll tell you. But look, Christopher, you don't want to cover the issues, but you don't want to cover the economy.
And you want to duck what's obvious and right in front of your face. The head of your party just said, we're not looking for moral leadership in our leaders anymore. This is the era of Trump. Let's get it done.
What she said.
Pragmatism.
She was answering a specific question. I watched the entire interview, and she was fantastic. And I'm so proud of Ronna McDaniel for leading this party.
I think she was really honest.
She is an invested She has invested more in the ground game, in the technology. She's raised more money. She is aligned with the types of voters. She's the one who helped us mightily in Michigan last time. She didn't tell Hillary Clinton not to go there.
She just said if you want morality and leadership, go to church.
She was answering a question. Oh, where exactly should we go for morality and leadership? Should we go to the field of the 2020 Democrats? Should we go to Elizabeth Warren, who's appropriating somebody else's ethnicity for decades to get academic advantage?
How about the Oval Office?
Should we go to Joe Biden, who says, I want to punch out Donald Trump behind the building?
How about the Oval Office?
Where should we go for moral leadership?
How about the Oval Office?
Hillary Clinton, who is a proven liar,
Tell me we should go to the Oval Office.
Ambitious. Where should we go?
Tell me we should go to the Oval Office.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, you can go to the Oval Office.
And what are we going to find there?
Because you were with the president recently.
Yeah, I know.
You were with the president recently. How come you didn't have the guts to tell him to his face? How come you just asked some fluffy, stuffy questions?
First of all, I'm always
respectful. Across from him?
I'll tell you what, the tone would change if he talked to me the way he talks about me. But when we're face to face, he's a different person, which shows how intentional his rhetoric is.
This president, no, he's a great person. He's a great person. And more importantly, what he's doing for this economy is the envy of the world. He is putting our trade policies back in balance. He's renegotiating trade with Mexico, with Canada, with Korea,
Why can't he do
with South
that
Korea, with
and
China now.
Be a good person?
Why is that not important to you?
Why can't he do that and be decent?
He is a good person.
When you say
you just want to throw these words out there. Hey, guess what? He's the best.
I get that.
Guess what? He's the best boss I've ever had.
Good for you. So
he's the best boss I ever had.
Well, you've been your own boss for most of your life, as I recall. You haven't had a boss in a very long time.
I had a lot of clients over the years. Let me tell you something. No, that's not true.
Kellyanne, you can't
call
listen,
I'm going to be the boss tonight because I'm not going to let you get away with saying no, I'm not going to let you get away with just hurling scurrilous, defamatory,
it's a quote.
Derogatory
and I even gave him the benefit of context.
President. When you have a colleague at CNN, Paul Begala, who referred to the president's children, as daughter and son-in-law, who are also presidential senior advisors, as cockroaches. It's disgusting that you have to repeat it. You have people on your network, paid people on your network.
I don't like that kind of talk.
Who are there. Well,
the president called me a chained lunatic.
Own it. Where am I going to go for moral leadership? CNN? No, you own it because you have people paid at your network, on your network, and on other networks.
So you just ignore it.
I knew this have to be about you.
You just ignore it. You just ignore everything that he says.
It was a long time ago. We talked about it.
Oh.
Hey, Chris, if you just want to interrupt me, if that's how you get the ratings,
of course I'm going to interrupt you.
This is very important.
You go to the mothership for that. Here, you have to be held to account.
You have people on your network
pretending.
You have people pretending on your network and who are paid by your network and appear on other networks that there's a body double for the First Lady. When are you going to clear out the kooks at CNN?
What are you talking about?
Where do we go for moral leadership?
This is kooky talk.
No, they shouldn't say that.
This is kooky talk. There is no CNN story about body doubles. We don't talk about that. That's not a narrative for us here.
You have some.
This started this conversation.
Talk about it elsewhere.
Just for those who haven't pulled their hair out yet. This started with, don't you think he shouldn't have said,
right.
I have the tough people?
Don't have her on anymore.
Yeah, and I do. Why? Because the White House deserves a voice, and the case deserves to be made. But you don't make it easy for me to defend you when you don't answer any of the questions.
Here's what he means by tough.
Yes,
I did. I answered all your questions, but you're talking over me because you're very impolite when I'm on. You don't do that to other people. We've done a quantitative analysis.
That's not true. I do it to everybody.
But anyway.
I do it to everybody.
You don't interrupt people. You sit there with that look on your face.
Go ahead.
And you let them answer.
Don't make fun of my face.
Answer
the question.
Look on your face and let
don't
me
make fun of my
answer.
face.
I'm not making
answer
fun
the
of your
question.
face. Your face is fine.
Face is not my problem.
I'm not making fun of your face the way your viewers make fun of mine.
Never. Answer your question.
This is what God gave me. It's all mine. So here's the deal. When he says tough, we do believe in the Trump administration. The military are tough. Our veterans are tough. The first responders are tough. In fact, because of this president's leadership, moral and otherwise, our first responders, our military, our veterans are better resourced and more deeply respected. And that includes the men and women at the Border Patrol, at the border who are doing their jobs, record seizures of drugs, you pretending, you and others pretending there's not a national emergency.
Carry them out on a stretcher, beat them up, I'll pay your legal bills. It's all an extension of the same stuff. It's just not presidential.
Campaign,
I just think he should be better.
Those who are nostalgic for it. Now, I don't want any of your...
I just think he should be better. But hold on.
I don't want you reading...
I don't want to run out of time on this yammer.
He is better.
I want to ask you about the vote.
He's better than the way you describe him.
I want to ask you...
You wasted the time on this topic.
Well, no, the topic matters, but we're not going to get real purchase on it, so let's move on. The vote today...
He's great, and he goes abroad and gets a hero's welcome at the multilateral summit.
Right. Then he should be in a better mood, and he should speak with more respect, and he should be more decent and more presidential.
He's in a great mood.
That's my advice. So
how is he not in a bad mood? You read all that stuff
I'm
about
sure he's not
people who
happy
don't
about the
know who
emergency
have been kicked
declaration.
out of the White House or couldn't get in there in the first place, and he's fuming. He's throwing things.
The emergency
How do they know that?
declaration vote. What does that mean? Does it mean that this party has drawn a line, that there are still principles that are going to come before just a straight party vote?
No, it means that this president declared a national emergency because he has the absolute authority to do so. The act has been around since 1976, and this president allowed Congress and the courts, waited for them to do their job. They fell down on the job. They didn't do their job. They didn't get the money for the steel slap barriers, the wall, the border security. And he turned around after exhausting all other possibilities, Christopher, and he declared a national emergency. Now, 12 Republicans have decided that we don't have a national emergency at the border. They've decided that 300 heroin deaths a week.
They say this is the wrong way.
Some of them are saying there's a constitutional crisis. No.
Yeah, because this is a usurpation of power.
They're saying there's a constitutional crisis.
Because it's a usurpation of power.
We see a national security crisis. No, it's not. We see, well, then change the act. Why doesn't Congress change its own laws?